Estás viendo Canal América, televisión dominicana para el mundo.
Time for Truth Show is sponsored by the Office of Dr. Bernard Fialkoff, a periodontal, dental implant and laser specialist in New York City, for over 40 years. Dr. Fialkoff was honored by the International College of Dentists and Pierre Fauchard, and received the Presidential Lifetime Humanitarian Honor from the White House. Call us at 718-229-3838.
Sometimes life can be so damn hard. You don't know where to go. Everything keeps falling apart. Yeah. You try to do your best, but only God knows that you've given everything you've got, but the world takes you down. You just keep moving on. Let your fears.
Welcome back to A Time for Truth show. It's a pleasure to be back with you again tonight, and to your space where we introduce you to remarkable individuals who are transforming their personal journeys into powerful movements that inspire hope, healing, and positive change in all our communities. And tonight, we have such a person. We're very lucky to have with us Miss Queens, Jessica Torres. And Buddha, let's put up her images on the screen as we introduce our viewers. There you go. So Jessica is a New York City content creator, a motivational speaker, a mentor, and community advocate. She's a reigning 2025 Bronx Puerto Rican Cultural Pageant Queen and an official state finalist representing Miss Queens at Miss New York USA 2026. As a survivor of domestic violence, Jessica had courageously turned her personal experiences into a mission of service for others in the community. Through her work, she has championed mental health awareness. She mentors young people, uplifts voices, and connects communities with life-changing resources through education, storytelling, and meaningful partnerships. Miss Queens is also the founder of the Progress Goddess, a platform dedicated to empowering people to embrace growth with courage, with resilience, and authenticity. Her inspiring work has been featured on the Tamron Hall Show, on NBC New York, on Pix 11, News 12, Telemundo, and BronxNet. And her impact has even been recognized on a Times Square billboard, celebrating her leadership and community service. Today, Jessica is taking that commitment one step further, and very happy to mention that she's been a spokesperson for the Foundation for a Drug-Free World educational program to protect youth across the entire country. Miss Queens believes that education is one of the most powerful tools we have to prevent drug abuse before it starts, before the dependency, and to help reduce the ripple effect of drug addiction, including domestic violence, broken families, and lost opportunities. Her goal is to empower young people, educate parents, and inspire communities. So please join me in bidding a warm welcome to Miss Queens, Jessica Torres, as we discuss her inspiring journey and passion for advocacy, as we find out more about this amazing woman. Buddha, let's bring her up on the screen. Welcome, Jessica. How are you doing?
I'm doing amazing. How are you doing this evening?
Well, you know, I'm very excited. You're doing so much and for such important causes that, to me, it's really what the passion, the mission of our show is, A Time for Truth. You're bringing truth to the world.
Absolutely. Thank you for having this platform. It's so important, the conversation that we are about to have.
Absolutely. You know, first of all, I want to congratulate you on so many accomplishments. And so, you know, first of all, I want to give you a lot of credit for being willing to share what you went through for the empowerment of the community and people out there. So thank you, first of all.
Of course. Absolutely.
I know it's not easy. And I wanted to ask you, tell us a little bit about your early years and the obstacles that you faced.
Yes. So we don't choose the circumstances that we are born into. I personally believe that everything that has happened to me in my life has allowed me to become the woman that I am today. I was born and raised in Queens, New York, where I am representing for Miss New York. And I was born and raised in a household of domestic violence, of emotional, psychological, financial abuse from my birth father. And he only passed away about 6 years ago. And therefore, I lived under these conditions and these circumstances for that expansive amount of time. And that is why it significantly shaped me into a woman who is all the more emotionally intelligent, self-aware, mindful of how my actions impact others and how mental health advocacy is pivotal in every conversation because it has ripple effects and generational trauma and generational cycles. I've made the decision that it ends with me, and that is why the work that I do is so important.
Well, you know what? Absolutely. And I really want to acknowledge you because having what happened to you, that you've actually done what you've done and gotten to where you've gotten to is even more impressive because you had to really handle so much. And so I'm sure that doing so, you learned so much. So I want to ask you, what message do you want to provide for those people out there watching this program who are experiencing this in their own lives on how they can overcome these crises?
Yeah. So to anyone who may be struggling with that currently, my heart goes out to you, but your current circumstance is not your final destination. You can and will still have the opportunity to create a beautiful life for yourself because there are resources available. There's education, there's opportunity, there are community initiatives, there are organizations who are here to help. And it is a strength to ask for help. And there are people who are here to listen and who deeply care and know that you are not alone and that you will come out on the other side all the more stronger, resilient, and powerful, and be a testimony for others.
Absolutely. Do you feel that that's why you started the group that you founded, that was part of what occurred and you realized, well, this is what I want to do?
100%. The Progress Goddess initially was formed from everything that I've been through in my life because I feel that it was a responsibility. It would be being a disservice to myself and to others if I didn't directly contribute my individualized gifts, my voice, my power, my heart, and everything that I personally have to offer to this world and give back because I've always been passionate about a life of service and how can I contribute to being a contribution in society and just really empowering others to see the same within themselves and whatever their unique story is, because I feel that our adversity can ultimately become our greatest strength in the end.
You know, it's very true, because sometimes there's things that happen in my own life. And one thing I always like to share with people is not to necessarily look at something as a barrier, but as the next level that you have to learn about and that you have to confront And from that, move forward and you go, wow, I can't believe I handled that. And I see we're on the same page. I see your big smile. You have a great smile. And absolutely, thank you. I mean, the name is so interesting. Progress Goddess. Did you consider a lot of names? Tell me.
For quite some years, I was fascinated with what am I going to name this project that I always had in mind, because I myself consider Jessica Torres to be a constant work in progress. However, it is important to distinguish that although I'm passionate about evolving and transformation and healing and growth in every capacity, whether that be spiritually, personally, professionally, I have to say that I am complete as I am. So, goddess, to symbolize that I am complete, I am whole, I am confident, I am a queen, and I am worthy and valued, although I am a work in progress. Those two things can exist simultaneously, and they do not discount one another.
Wow. Well, I love the name. It's so appropriate. And then, I want to thank you because, my daughter and I, Megan, run this program, the Foundation for Drug-Free World. We run the Americas chapter. And, you're Latin American, which is perfect because, not only do we put it in the U.S., but we went to the Caribbean, we went to Central America. And you were born in which one of the, or you were, what heritage are you?
So I'm born and raised in Queens, New York, but I am a very proud New York Beacon. I am Puerto Rican, heart, corazón y sazón y todo.
Qué magnífico. Tú sabes, porque yo nací en Cuba. I was born in Cuba. Most people look at me and they go, Fialkoff, Cuban, look at your face. You look like some kind of German, Russian guy. And so this is a perfect show because, it shows how we're the United Nations. And thank you for becoming a spokesperson. I wanted to ask you a question because Megan said that she spoke with you. So what made you decide, with Megan to accept this role as the spokesperson?
Yes, so I've had the opportunity to work with Megan, who is also an incredibly empowering woman who is multifaceted, much like me, multidimensional and intentional, who does it all, very detail-oriented and committed to the movements that she puts her heart into. So you've done an incredible job, sir, on your daughter. Congratulations on that. And Drug-Free World, this initiative, is in alignment with my personal history. I advocate heavily for mental health because everything is directly tied, whether domestic violence or whatever the circumstances, everything goes back to education. And with education, we can prevent these issues before they have the opportunity to start. So it really is planting the seed. And I love the idea to really implement this curriculum in schools and for our youth, because we really need to protect the next generation because they are our leaders. They are going to do incredible things with their talents and their gifts, and they really need to protect their future. And so Drug-Free World is doing a great job in really planting that seed early.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you, and we're going to be marching actually this weekend at the Bronx Dominican Day Parade. And we're going to do that. We did it the Puerto Rican Day Parade in Manhattan. And then in August, we have another one, which is a National Dominican Day Parade that's in Manhattan in August. And, they're great parades. We love to, any of them you can come to, we would love to have you. And, it's amazing when you look at what's happening with youth in our country, which is the future of the country. They face so much pressure with the social media, with the peer pressure, because now it's even higher than when I had it because I didn't have to worry about social media. What message would you want to give those youth out there about how to overcome this?
Yeah, I would say the coolest thing in the world that you can do is be yourself. Do not give in to peer pressure. Do not give in to what your friends think or what social media says is trendy and hip, because only you are you, and that is your power. There is nobody with your gifts and with your talents and with your voice, and you can be an incredible doctor, lawyer, police officer. You can make monumental change in this world. And we need you to consistently think about your future for yourself, because we all have amazing dreams. And I know that our youth is capable of so much more, but we really need to focus on what matters, and authenticity, preserve that. There's nothing cooler than being yourself.
You know what? It's so true. And sometimes we lose sight of that because there's so much comparing and so much social media, right?
Of course. But ultimately, we all carry influence. I know I am a digital content creator, I am an influencer, and I use my digital platform with intention and with purpose to connect with industry leaders and political officials, and I use it as my outlet. So social media can be a very powerful, productive tool if used correctly. There are access to important educational content on social media that the youth can find. We just need to get them in touch with the right niche, the right audience, and have them prioritize that, and just understand that their future is worth it.
Absolutely. In fact, I was going to ask you that you could give some advice. And what would you say to those parents out there, or the mentors at the school, the counselors? What do you feel is a role that they should play in guiding or in helping the youth of today?
Yeah, they play such a significant role, and I hope they understand that in a child's life, a lot of them come from broken homes. I myself came from a home of abuse, and when I would go to school, I would often look for a safe space, a teacher, a mentor, a guidance counselor, any adult that I can see as an inspiration, as someone to confide in, as someone to ask for help or ask questions. And so, if you're a teacher and you play an important role in a school, you have more power than you can ever begin to imagine. You can change a child's life just through spending a little more one-on-one time with them, just paying close attention to the details that often go unnoticed. If a child is maybe coming to school wearing the same clothes, if they're more quiet than usual, if they're doodling or not paying attention, there are behavioral factors that you see in students that are often dismissed as, oh, that child is a problem. They're disruptive, or they're acting out, or they're seeking attention. Like, no, we need to refer them to the guidance counselor and see what's happening, because there's always more beneath the surface. So our adults, we really need to monitor our children and pay close attention, because they need love and care and support. That's really it.
It's so true. Everyone, regardless of their age, needs that safe person that they can come to, open up to, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, that extends well beyond youth. Everybody, every human being in this world, every individual, we all need each other. That's why community is the most important thing in the world, and community unites us all.
It's so true. It's interesting. The Surgeon General of the United States of America, Vivek Murthy, MD, a few years ago came out how much social interaction plays a role not only in our mental and emotional health, but I was totally amazed because he showed that scientifically it was also affecting heart health, diabetes, dementia, stroke. And this is an amazing, it's almost impossible to believe, but you can check it out online, the Surgeon General, that having not enough social interaction was like smoking 10 to 15 cigarettes per day. Unbelievable. Wow.
Absolutely.
It's so unbelievable. You're so right. I was going to ask you a question.
Yes.
What was the feeling when you won Miss Queens?
Well, I haven't won yet. I'm representing as Miss Queens. It's Saturday, July 25th, will be Miss New York. I'm representing Queens. I have poured my heart, my soul, and invested so much of my time, my energy into just ultimately becoming the best possible version of myself, because that to me is the win. That to me is the crown, because regardless of the outcome, you are never a loser for trying. You go into something, and if your goal is to have an experience and fully embrace that and be wholeheartedly you, authentically in the process, and you do so representing a powerful platform such as Drug Free World and all of the powerful initiatives that I'm going into this with, I am monumentally proud of myself, and my younger self is absolutely beaming with the fact that I have healed enough to become the woman who is able to do this, and know that regardless of what happens, I am a winner, because of the fact that I have chosen to say yes to myself.
Absolutely. And where is that going to be held on that July? That's Saturday, right?
Yes, this Saturday. It's going to be in Hotel Hilton in Parsippany, New Jersey. I have a bit of a journey there. I'm excited for that.
And now I'm curious, do people have to buy tickets? Can they come? How does someone get in?
Yes, so tickets are available. They are available for both Saturday and Sunday. Saturday is the preliminary round, and Sunday is the final round where will be the crowning and the big finale.
Wow. And for what time to what time for those viewers watching on Sunday?
You can go to missnewyorkusa.com. You can click on tickets, and all of the information will be there: date, time, location.
Beautiful. Well, I wish you tremendous luck on getting that position as, Miss New York. And, let's be positive. If you were to win, what would you want to do with your platform? What do you envision that, okay, this is going to be what I'm going to do to help?
Yes. So with everything that I've already built, I built my personal brand. I have built the Progress Goddess and all of these initiatives that I am wholeheartedly passionate about. The goal is ultimately to scale that on a global level. Miss New York would simply elevate the work that I've already been committed to doing my whole life, whether that's serving the community through speaking engagement in classrooms, at schools, hosting workshops, hosting events, and just supporting my local businesses through digital content creation and in-person initiatives. It would just elevate that on a scale across the boroughs of New York City. And as someone who is born and raised all my life as a New Yorker, through and through, as a New York Rican, it would also be a contribution to Puerto Rican representation, which would be incredible to represent para la cultura, la comunidad y mi gente latina.
Absolutamente. Wow, qué bonito. And I wanted to ask you a question.
Yes.
When your life journey is over, a long time into the future, how would you like people to remember you, Jessica?
That's a powerful question.
What would you like them to say? This lady, this is what. Go ahead. I'll let you fill in the blank.
Ultimately, I've had the blessing of accomplishing so much in my life so far, and I plan to accomplish a lot more. But the titles, the crowns, all of the visual, beautiful accomplished on paper, on resume, on my portfolio are going to become minuscule in comparison to the way that I made people feel. My goal in the end is ultimately to make as many people as I possibly can feel valued, feel seen, feel loved, feel appreciated, from the youth to the women to just human beings all across the world. I hope to have the opportunity to travel the world, to scale my brand and business, to go on speaking tours, and just truly be a major contribution to society. And that is the legacy that I hope to leave. Just be a change and be a light, and hope that anyone who sees my journey in video archives and highlights can see me and say that woman was inspiring. She was very empowering. I'm going to go out and I'm going to be a change. And hopefully that ripple effect will continue for many years to come.
Absolutely. Well, our country has so much technologically, and we have so much possibility and opportunity. What change would you like to see occur in our country that you think needs to occur?
Honestly, I would love to see a lot more empathy and compassion between human beings, a lot more understanding, a lot more listening more than we speak, because a lot of people have their own perception and their own preconceived notions and judgments based on the life that they're lived. And they have a very limited comprehension of what other people's lives are like and other cultures, and really need to expand their horizon to better communicate and better love one another and better offer support. And so I just hope that we can really focus on more love and compassion in this world.
I wholeheartedly agree with you. I know the Surgeon General totally agrees with you. The science agrees with you. And, you know, I think if we look in our hearts, that's really what we need, what you just stated. I think it's sometimes we think too much about material things, and we forget that we're the dictionary definition in Webster's, we're human beings. We're human beings. And, you know, you're so right that a being needs that affection, that care, that communication. And, you know, we're to the end of the show. Everything that's good always seems to go flying by like the show did for us. But I want to ask you a question, because there's so many young people out there. They're going to be watching. There's going to be parents watching, educators, the pageant leaders probably, you know, all kinds of, you know, business entrepreneurs watching this. So as we end the show, and you want to give them one last message, I guess this is almost like, I'll prepare you for the pageant so that like you just like, wham. And so here we are. We're at the end of the pageant. Well, this is the Time for Truth show. What message, there we go, you got the mic and everything. I love this. What message, Jessica, would you like to give those people out there watching you?
Yes. Own who you are to the fullest. Nobody is you. You are wonderfully, beautifully, uniquely created. May you always embrace who you are to the fullest. May you understand that you have a divine assignment and a responsibility to fulfill your vision and your dream in this life. And may you just focus on being a positive change and know that you carry more influence than you can ever imagine. It doesn't matter how many followers you have. It doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, what your background is, but you can change the world in small and beautiful, beautiful ways. I promise you that. Thank you.
Well, you know what? You're going to almost bring a tear to my eye. It's beautiful. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's been a pleasure. We'll have you back again. And you know, for those of you watching, let's take her words. Let's actually apply them. There's one thing to listen, another one to apply. Let's learn from her application of her life, all that she's accomplished. Let's do that. Let's be who we are. Let's help other people. Let's get the mystery of life, which I really think, like she said, is loving each other. We've got a great world. Thank you for having watched this segment, and we'll see you on the next episode of A Time for Truth show. Good night.
This show was sponsored by A Time for Truth Foundation Incorporated as a community service.
Sometimes life can be so damn hard. You don't know where to go. Everything keeps falling apart. Yeah. You try to do your best, but only God knows that you've given everything you've got, but the world takes you down. You just keep moving on. Let your feet